Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now I know it's weird to see a video of mine on Saturday, but because we're so excited, or I'm so excited, about the new set hitting finally on the online game, I'm going to bring you daily videos. So if you enjoy the series, please do a like on the video. Let's get to 100 likes on each of these videos as we close out our road to TCG Worlds 2017. And after the event, of course, we will immediately begin with Road to TCG Worlds 2018. Now, today we are featuring another of the super hyped GXs from the new set. It is Golisopod-GX, 210 HP, Grass type. First impression, deals 30 damage, and if this Pokemon was on your bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, it deals 90 more damage. So, with Float Stones and Guzma, which is essentially the best partner for this card, along with Acerola, we get to deal 120 damage pretty much every turn. Armor Press is also a pretty good attack for the energy cost, dealing 100 damage and preventing 20 after applying weakness and resistance, of course. And then Crossing Cut GX is a really nice GX attack, dealing a very healthy amount, 150, and combining really well with Golisopod's theme, which is going back to the bench. 3 retreat cost is pretty heavy, but our main idea is to use Guzma and Float Stones and Acerola in order to be able to move Golisopod around. Fire Weakness does limit this card a little bit, in the sense that Volcanion really puts a stop to this becoming super dominant, I would say. But it's not completely unmanageable, you know, it's definitely not a complete auto loss. Now, we do have the Wimpod, which has 70 HP, its ability during your first turn, this Pokemon has no retreat cost, so there are actually some advantages to going second with this deck. If you start a Wimpod and you have another on the bench, you can actually deal turn 1 120 damage, whereas if you go first, you can get your setup and you can evolve, but you definitely cannot attack. We have a 4-3-3 line of Decidueye, of course, as its companion. Feather Arrow, the extra damage from Feather Arrow allows you to get some key knockouts and key attacks going, and Decidueye on its own is a really good attacker as well, along with having a really good GX attack, Hollow Hunt, which allows you to recycle some of your resources and put them directly into your hand. We have Tapu Lele promo to also use Flying Flip, potentially, and spread damage around. However, we are not running 4 double colorless, so Tapu Lele is mostly there as a free retreater as well, despite that we are using 3 Float Stones. Having this natural free retreater is pretty nice to combine with Guzma, and then we have our 2 Leles and a single Shaymin in order to draw more cards. Now, aside from that, we have 4 Sycamore 3N to Guzma. Guzma replacing completely Lysander in this deck because we do need the switching out effect. We have the 1 Bridget, and we have Acerola as well, in order to recover the damaged Golisopod, recover the damaged Decidueye, and potentially either attack again with Golisopod, or even use extra Feather Arrows per turn. The rest of the deck is pretty simple. 4 Forest for consistency, and Worlds and the Anaheim Open will be the last tournament. The last tournaments where Forest will be legal. We have 4 via Seeker and 4 Ultra Ball. We have 2 Revitalizer, 2 Field Mower, 2 Choice Band, the 3 Float Stone I've been mentioning. And then for energy, we only have 5 Grass and 2 double colorless. So not too many, but we don't necessarily need to attach energy every single turn. And our main tagger is Golisopod-GX, and that only requires a single Grass. So that's why the focus is on the Grass energy. So that is the deck. Let's jump into the ladder and see if we can get some good games in. I wouldn't mind showcasing the Volcanion matchup either, and we might be up against that, or we might actually be up against Greninja, which is being touted as a good contender for Worlds, and therefore Golisopod could also be a good choice. I'm going to assume this is Greninja. Now, our hand with the double Choice Band is actually pretty sad. Honestly, pretty sad. And we are indeed up against a Talonflame. So I might have to use my GX attack immediately. I'm gonna play down both choice bands just because I probably won't need them. Well, I surely won't need them, and with the TCG and Golisopod, I actually get a knockout on the Talonflame, so he might actually not expect this, so we might even dunk our good matchup, which would be just terrible for my opponent. Oh no. Okay, we see the Guzma onto the Wimpod, so trying to prevent my first attack, but because we do have the double colorless energy, we'll just be able to use the GX attack and get the win. So yeah, some bad luck by my opponent. He was the one who chose his hand with the Talonflame, so I'm not sure if... Well, actually, I'm not sure how it works now, because I heard there was like a bug with Talonflame right now. But we just used Crossing Cut GX to deal 150 damage, and that's the game. And that is the game. So yeah, let's obviously jump into the next game. This one doesn't count, it took less than 2 minutes. And yeah, seems like we get some extra coins for some extra booster packs. I have a lot of booster packs in my collection right now, unopened booster packs with a lock. So if you guys want to see a video like that, let me know in the comment section down below. I feel like it'd be like a bonus video, you know? It wouldn't replace the Road to TCG World Series, it'd be just a bonus video. But I feel like there has been a lot of support lately for my Spanish videos that I think I'll probably do the opening video but in Spanish instead of English. In my other account, I don't have too many coins because I didn't play too much with that account since the last set came out, so I don't have... I wasn't able to get too many booster packs from that, only 15, and I opened them, and I only pulled one GX. I only pulled the Dartrix. But right now I have 46 booster packs here, plus all the other sets, so I have like 70, maybe 80 booster packs. We now have coins for 2 more, so yeah, we could definitely do that. We get an extra card for the mulligan, and we have the Bridget, which is pretty nice. We won't be able to attack on turn 1, but that's okay. If this was a Wimpod, we could have potentially, we could potentially still attack on turn 1, but we might be up against a mirror match actually. And there's a DCE, and there's the end, so that will change everything. We lose our Bridget, which is a bit unfortunate. However, we get the Lele, so we can still get the Bridget. That's pretty cool. And no Stadium by my opponent. I definitely won't be playing a Stadium this turn, but I will be playing the Bridget and potentially have a slightly better setup than my opponent. I'm gonna go for another Rowlet and 2 Wimpod. Not gonna find Tapu Koko just yet. I'm a little bit scared to attach the energy to my Wimpod just because he could Life Under, but he also probably has Guzma, so that forces him to find a Tapu Koko promo potentially or a Float Stone. So I guess doing this is okay. And I will just pass here. I'll just pass the turn. Yep, there's the Koko, so we could definitely see Energy Guzma knockout on my Wimpod, which would be a little unfortunate, or a Decidueye as well. There's the Stadium, and there's the end, the Via Seeker for end. So I'm pretty happy to see that. Hopefully we don't dead draw off of this end. We see another double colorless on the Dartrix, so this might actually not be a mirror match, and it might actually be the Decidueye Ninetales. Or my opponent could simply be running a bigger count of DCEs. Now, he does choose to Field Blower away his Stadium, which is a very interesting decision, of course. I don't fault him for doing that, and yeah, we don't. Yikes, we don't get a supporter card, which is really unfortunate. No supporter card, no trouble, no nothing. I'll attach the non-secret rare energy. And yeah. I don't want to bench the Koko. I want to keep that space open. And is there any basic Pokemon that will help me here? No. So I'm just gonna go for the first impression, deal 120 damage, and only receive 60 back. So Golisopod's other big advantage is the fact that it only requires 1 energy. So attackers like Tapu Lele and Gardevoir-GX have a harder time knocking you out. And then you have Acerola, you have other things, right? So there's a bunch of cards we could top deck here that could be useful. It's really sad that we have to be in top deck mode so early on after having played a single supporter card. And yeah, my opponent choosing to Sycamore instead of N, which is understandable, and it is the Decidueye Ninetales. However, he just discarded the Ninetales, interestingly enough. I feel like Ninetales is a good attacker in this matchup because of the GX attack. Too bad that if my opponent decides to sacrifice the Lele, I won't even be able to knock it out. See a Feather Arrow on the Golisopod, and we see the Energy Drive. So what do we top deck? We need a Decidueye, we need an Ultra Ball. Okay, we get the Decidueye, so at least we get a knockout here. At the very, very least, we do get a knockout on the Lele. Now, I kind of want to keep the energy in my hand for now, so I'm just going to use First Impression for 30, which is pretty sad, but it does do the job properly enough, so that's fine by me. Our prize cards actually don't give us anything to work off of with, so this is a little bit scary, and even if we had access to Hollow Hunt GX here, there's nothing we would actually want to recover. So we're in a very precarious situation. Even though we're ahead in the price count, and yeah, my opponent just discarding Ultra Balls like there's no tomorrow. We have to top deck once again. That's what needs to happen. We have to top deck once again. Top decking Acerola would be ideal. Top decking Ultra Ball, top decking, I don't know, there's just so many things we could top deck here. So many things that would actually be really good. And yeah, there's a Grass Energy, so yeah. With the Choice Band, my opponent will be able to knock out my Golisopod, and he will choose to end. So I'm actually a bit thankful for the end, I guess. This we're not benching the Tapu Lele promo will hurt me a little, but I do find a Float Stone and an Ultra Ball, so I'm pretty happy about that. My opponent will be able to return, knock out my Golisopod. So he lost a Lele, I lost a Golisopod. I feel like that's an even trade-off, because if I manage to get an attack off here, I'm gonna be in an okay position. Now, Shaymin was not priced, right? Pretty sure Shaymin was not priced. So I can discard the end. Well, definitely Lele isn't priced either. Yeah, Shaymin isn't priced. So I'm gonna grab Shaymin just because that means I can also still use a supporter. My deck is filled with useful resources. I'm gonna play the Stadium down. And I'm gonna use setup for 6 brand new cards. So finally getting things done here. And okay, we don't find a supporter, however we do find Tapu Lele. The thing here is I definitely do not want to discard my DCE, so I'm actually going to end my opponent myself, and he has a pretty big hand, so I feel like that's an okay play. Having the Stadium down does help us both. We are even in the Decidueye count for now, at 1-on-1 each, and yeah. Fortunately, once again, we will not. We're gonna deal 150 damage to this Decidueye, then 170. I feel like pressuring something else might be better here, because we might end up just Lysandering up the Decidueye. But no, afterwards we need to, yeah, no, the damage is correct here, just because in case we don't find a way to retreat the Golisopod next turn, which doesn't seem very likely, a hit for 60 plus another Feather Arrow is a knockout on the Decidueye, so that feels correct. That definitely feels correct. And yeah, see, as I was saying, we are even in the Decidueye counts. We have the exact 1 Decidueye and 1 Dartrix each. However, there's the extra Rowlet, and my bench is filled with supporter type Pokemon. So that's not ideal, of course. Even if we get out Decidueye, if that exists, we do have Golisopod, which deals more damage than Decidueye and than Ninetales. Okay, and my opponent decides to retreat into the Vulpix actually. He's gonna Feather Arrow the active, and is he going to Beacon here? Yeah, he's going to Beacon, okay. Super passive turn by my opponent. I'm gonna take this opportunity to just Sycamore, try to set up another Decidueye, potentially find a DCE to knock out the Vulpix and not let off the pressure. By not having to use my double Feather Arrow on the Vulpix to get a knockout. But I thought like a BS Seeker. Man, that's rough. I'm still Sycamore and double Seeker. That's the norm for the channel, isn't it? Okay, so we actually don't find anything too useful here. Yikes. Wow. That was a really bad Sycamore. A really bad Sycamore. I don't even want to use to attach my grass because I need it for a potential other Golisopod, but then my opponent will probably end me here anyways. So I can't even knock out the Vulpix. That is so sad. That is very sad here. Who do I attach the energy to? Oh, I think I'm gonna keep the energy. I feel like I definitely need to keep the energy. Okay, I'm gonna Feather Arrow to the Decidueye. I'm gonna finish that Decidueye off through Feather Arrows, and I'm just gonna first impression for 30 here, which is pretty bad. However, that does force my opponent to either find a Float Stone or just Beacon again instead of attacking, so that's pretty good. Double Feather Arrow is very scary for sure. However, we can pressure the other Decidueye as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see an end here by my opponent, but no, it's an Acerola, okay. So, probably picking up the Decidueye. Yeah. Picking up the Decidueye. Definitely going to pick up the Decidueye. However, as I mentioned, he's not really dealing any damage here. He's not dealing any damage. He does pick up the Decidueye that's heavily damaged. So my Feather Arrow was kind of wasted, for sure. And he gets triple Feather Arrow despite only having despite having only 2 Decidueyes. So yeah, this is where only dealing 30 damage was actually pretty bad. Now, there's the other Feather Arrow. There's 2 double colorless in the discard pile. Oh, there's a Float Stone. Is he really going to GX attack here? Yeah. He's going to go for the GX attack. Probably getting back the 2 DCEs, however, he did play. Yeah, he will have. Oh, this is really bad, guys. I think my play here is definitely to go after the Lele. I think that's my play here. I need to finish up the Lele and then take an easy knockout on the Vulpix. Yeah, if I had the Feather Arrow on the Vulpix, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're in an okay position, but definitely not in the best one. Yep, BS Seeker, double colorless, and Ultra Ball. So that guarantees a third Decidueye, that guarantees an Acerola. Yeah, so I'm gonna Guzma and I'm gonna take a knockout here. Potentially not letting my opponent. Yeah, I feel like I'm probably going to have to use Decidueye at some point. 1, grass, 2, 3, 4. No, I'm gonna keep the grass. I will, however, he didn't get back the field lore, right? No, he's played 2 field lore, so I will play the other Float Stone here. On the other Dartrix, I guess. And then I will Feather Arrow the Vulpix. And I will retreat. Oh no. I had to Feather Arrow the Lele. I had to Feather Arrow the Lele, Pablo. That was the whole plan. I was thinking way too far ahead. I was thinking way too far ahead. Oh, that was so silly of me. That was so silly. Wow. That was a huge misplay, guys. That was actually a huge misplay. But it's so frustrating. My hand just doesn't cooperate with us. That double discard of us with the VS Seeker. If I had a VS Seeker the previous turn, I would have used it to end my opponent. And I did this whole play to get a knockout on the... I'm sorry guys, that was a big misplay. That was me thinking way too far ahead without focusing on the actual situation where I just needed to knock out the Lele. That's all I had to do. Knock out the Lele. That's all I had to do. And I couldn't do it. Duh. That was way too silly of me. Way too silly of me. And I apologize for that, guys. That was not a smart move on my part. Not a smart move at all. In the next turn, we're probably gonna see an end by my opponent. Lele into end. We would have probably got an end, right? Yeah, that was really bad. That was really bad. It would be a completely different game if I hadn't done that. Okay, now we get the whole trouble. We've also always been at the Decidueye behind, which obviously doesn't help our case. Can I get back a Golisopod line? So yeah, I will deal damage to this Decidueye, which is the only thing my opponent has currently powered up. So if we can potentially have a Acerola next turn, which apparently we cannot. Now we need my opponent to not have Acerola himself. We do have the Guzma, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to Feather Arrow one Decidueye. No, I keep doing this wrong. Okay, alright, think Pablo. I can still win this, okay? Not having end for next turn really sucks. Because my opponent can just Lysander for game. Yeah, he hasn't played that thing. Oh, he can Lele for Lysander for game. Yeah. That's the... that was so bad, guys. And I think we would have still lost, no matter my previous mistake. But we would have been at 2 prizes instead of 0. It's just, my opponent's setup was just that much better. Those turns with dead draw are just really bad. Really bad. And there's a Lele for the Guzma the Shaymin, put up the Koko or the Vulpix, retreat, and deal 120 damage for the win. So yeah, it actually didn't matter that I misplayed. It was a pretty bad misplay. My opponent just being fancy here. And yeah. Okay, so let's find another match. Yeah, the misplay didn't end up mattering. Yeah, my opponent's hand was just a bit... Well, I guess it did matter, because maybe my opponent might have not had the Guzma. He could have just triple Feather Arrowed my Shaymin though. However, I would have knocked out one Decidueye, potentially. So yeah, I don't know. Might have mattered, might have not mattered. It's still something I shouldn't be doing anyways. It's still something I shouldn't have done anyways. Okay. The new mulligan thing is so weird. Like it still has you click done like a million times, and then it shows you your mulligan once again, and then it gives you a hand. So it's like, it's weird. It's very weird. Okay. Well, yeah, my opponent setup was just too good for us to deal with the previous turn. Okay, so Garbodor is a very difficult matchup for sure. So we have to make I don't even understand these decks or these hands, but anyways, we see this is Espion card, so this is even worse because my opponent probably has access to Flareon. And yeah. We see a Float Stone. Okay, the N I am okay with. Thank you, opponent, for the N. That is very kind of you. Okay, so we'll actually be able to do something here. We can set up Lele, we can retreat to remove the confusion. We could potentially flip as well. We will be able to bridge it here if it's available. I could also Acerola to remove the confusion and retreat and still deal 20 to Pokemon, but I don't think that's a good play here. Definitely don't think that's a good play right now. So I'm just gonna Lele for Bridget, please. Yes, it is available. Awesome. Okay, so Lele for the Bridget, and then I can retreat into Tapu Lele for sure. And retreat into the Lele, I have the Float Stone. Consecutive ends by my opponents are not too likely, I would say. I'm gonna grab those two Wimpods and a Rowlet. I'll bench the other Rowlet. We'll retreat. Yeah, I don't want any extra damage, and I will pass. I will pass for now. So only 3 cards, my opponent probably won't end me. Up to 6. 2 item cards so far. In the discard pile, we need to keep those to a minimum. Yeah, there's Ultra Ball, so we might actually see Garbo-Toxin Garb. Yep. You see a Garbodor discard, that means Garbo-Toxin Garb is coming out for sure. There it is. However, that doesn't bother me too much at this point. I did have to get rid of the field board, and we will see the... Okay. What can I tell you guys? Now we're gonna miss an attack because we won't get the Float Stone. Yep. No, okay. So we get the Guzma to actually get rid of the Garbodor immediately. I mean, we don't have a follow-up supporter card, which sucks. Okay, we top at the end. I'm gonna stop saying anything before I see my hands. Okay, so there's the energy. I will Guzma and take a knockout on the Garbodor here, which is pretty good. Awesome. The next turn, with the N, we can potentially find a Float Stone, retreat, and start spreading damage with Flying Flip. Or even, if we manage to find another Golisopod, we could even deal another 120 damage to the Espion. So yeah, not a bad position to be in actually. Now we're gonna see a Lele. Potentially, yep, another N, okay. That is a-okay by me. Probably didn't want to discard too many resources. And supporters are just not a thing for us today. Okay, my opponent deciding to go after the Tapu Koko GX. What are we gonna top deck? That's 8 damage counters, and 2 more, or yep, 2 more on defense when played. Why? I don't know, but it's fine by me. Now with the spot open that we have, we can actually search for either Tapu Lele or Shaymin here. And I feel like I should definitely go for Shaymin. Because Shaymin can get me an extra supporter card. However, 1, 2... Shaymin is also very fragile. No, but I think Shaymin is correct here. I do think Shaymin is correct. There's no Trubbish in play yet, so we shouldn't be afraid of Carpenter too much, and he discarded one of the Trash Avalanche Carpenters. So we do find a Stadium. I do find the Golisopod. I already attached energy though. The triple energy, guys. The triple energy. I can't discard all of those energy. I really can't. To find a Float Stone, I really can't. Oh. Maybe Shaymin wasn't the best idea. Maybe Tapu Lele was, but we really can't know. We're in a good position though. Even though we only dealt 30 damage the first turn, we're in a good position. No flaring inside is also really good. My opponent plays a super weak Cool here. Now that Ultra Ball probably going towards a Trubbish, I would imagine, yep. But only 3 item cards so far, so we're good in that department for now. We are good in that department. We see a Field Blower removing the Stadium. I actually don't mind that at all. And now I'll be tempted to discard the 2 Grass, just because I have access to Acerola, and just because I do want to find out a Decidueye. I do want to find out a Decidueye in order to get a knockout on this Elfian GX. And I do. I can actually get double Decidueye here. Double Decidueye paired with continuous Acerolas. Yeah. My opponent doesn't knock out this Golisopod this next turn. This is going to be really amazing. So we get the double Decidueye, so we're dealing 150. With just 1 Feather Arrow, we get the knockout here. And I feel like the other Feather Arrow should go to whom? Yeah, the thing is I still don't have a Float Stone. So who's gonna take the hit? Probably Tapu Lele. Yeah. Espion is probably his next attacker. There's only 4 item cards so far. I'm gonna play this just in case he ends me. Not too afraid of a delinquent because we're gonna draw 2 prize cards, and I could even Acerola shit. I kinda want to Acerola the Decidueye though. Yeah, I'm gonna let Decidueye take the hit. I'll let Decidueye take the hit. Third via Seeker and another Ultra Ball, so definitely using Acerola here. And there's a victory. Awesome. So yeah, we lost against a Decidueye 9-tails deck, and we beat an Espion card. We got some very lucky top decks for sure in this game. And my opponent going for the Decidueye-GX and opening up the bench space was actually really good. I mean, he didn't know what we had in our hand in order to try and counteract that a little bit. He didn't know we were dead drawing, so he might have assumed we had a normal hand and we would have kept on attacking. So yeah, this actually worked out pretty nicely. So with this, I will be leaving you guys. Thank you guys so much. If you leave a like on the video, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, as we're very close to 10,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for a Volcanion update with the new Burning Shadows Gaui and Koko. Thank you guys so much, and bye-bye.